All right. Peace, family. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We about to get it in tonight. We're gonna have a real good show. Very interesting year thus far. We got the spiritual teachers that come on here and do their thing. About to get started with my guest, about to bring her on and announce real quick, family. Make sure you hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that we are live if you care about them, because this may possibly help them in whatever their condition that they are in. With that being said, let's get to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning feeling stressed. Sometimes I wake up feeling like I never slept. Sometimes I don't wanna wake up cause I'm depressed. But today when I woke up I felt blessed. Yes, I'm thankful I could breathe. Thankful for the breath, thankful for the heart beating in my chest. Superman S. I fell in love with life, not afraid of death. Fell in love with life, fell in love with sex. I'm a sinner, I confess. I love my cold, melanated flesh. It absorbs, it protects like a bulletproof vest. I kill all my demons and then I ask who's next. I'm the son of Osiris, I'm coming for the Sutex. Suplex, God is blood, God is great. I'm thankful for the food on my plate. I just ate mashed potatoes and steak. Victory is sweet, come get a taste. The flavor in your ear is Big Mac with the base. Been broke, can't break, got money in the bank. Every day someone dies, someone's born. Get a cake, set a date, get a suit, get a tie, get a date. God is always on time, never late. Celebrate, get in shape, meditate, levitate, elevate. Men destroy, men create, real women menstruate. And the sound I make emanates my life. And the song I sing celebrates my life. Celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Celebrate today, celebrate tonight. Celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Everything was dark, God invented light. Everybody celebrate your life, celebrate your life. Celebrate today, celebrate tonight. Accepted all my wrongs, celebrate the right. When I die, celebrate my death, see what heaven's got. I feel glorious, victorious. The metal dangle on my...
All right. Yo, Aquarius, you see you made the intro.
I saw. Really nice.
Made the intro. Yeah, I want to welcome back. Without further ado, let's bring back the one, the only Aquarius Maximus. Welcome back. First time in 2024. You on the platform. Good to have. No, this is second time, right? This is the second time.
Second time.
I'm trying to think.
This year? For this year, you mean?
This year. Yeah.
Yeah, the second time this year. I think it might be the third time because it's probably the second time.
Well, welcome back. We got a important show tonight. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody in the chat. We got a packed chat already. Shout out to all of y'all. What's going on with y'all? It is a Wednesday night, so they say, and yeah, we got an interesting topic, Aquarius. The name of the show, I titled it "Earth is Shifting." I was talking to you on the phone, Aquarius, about the pole shifts, things like that. I seen you had made a couple of posts on Instagram. And I guess just to start out, it's always good having a sister on here with these type of topics, because I know y'all tapped in a unique way. So to start out with, I would love to ask you, just so we can get an idea of how big these earth changes are that's happening. What ancient civilization would you say is going through what we're going through right now? Because we're talking about so much. We're talking about this golden age and earth shift and polar shift and all types of shit going. Age of Aquarius. What ancient civilization, when you study, but when you could recall, because like I said, you tapped in. What ancient civilization went through something like this so we could get an idea of what's going on?
Atlantis.
It reminds you of Atlantis. Could you elaborate on that a little bit? That's interesting. I thought you was going to say that though. Thought you was going to say that. Talk to me.
So we have three poles that we move through, right?
Yes.
We have three pole stars. We have Polaris. We have, I always say it wrong, so Thuban, Polaris, and Vega, right? So those are the stars that we shift through, become our different poles, our different pole stars during different ages, right? And they're all in different constellations. Thuban is in Draco, right? And of course, we all know about Draco. We associate Draco with the Draconians, and
Right.
people have talked about the reptilians and etc. Right? And interestingly, Thuban is in cardology would be an ace of spades.
Mm.
So this would be the time of great mystery, right? So
Mhm.
we don't know a lot about that time. That's why we call it the time when Thuban was the North Star. We call that the age of the mysteries,
Mm.
right? This is when the mysteries was the mystery systems, and it was an ace of spades.
Okay.
So then you have Polaris, which we're currently in right now. And Polaris is in Ursa Major, right? Or Ursa Minor, one of the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving into Vega.
Vega.
And Vega is in the constellation Lyra,
Uh-huh.
right? So there's been so much talk about Vega and Lyra over the past 100 years, honestly. And it's kind of slipped under the radar in the mainstream. Of course, in the new age community, they've been talking about Vega and Lyra for a long time. People claiming to be Lyra star seeds,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
claiming to be from Vega, and etc. Right? But that's simply because we are moving towards Vega. Like we're locking in on Vega, right?
Mm.
So what most people don't understand is that you have three phases of when you move towards something, right? You have the spiritual, you have the mental, and then you have the physical,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
soon as you begin moving, soon as we get into that one conjunction, like we were in the conjunction of Polaris,
Mm-hmm.
soon as we start moving past Polaris, we're now leaving Polaris
Mm-hmm.
and we're moving towards Vega.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been moving towards Vega for a very long time now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And moving and leaving Polaris behind. So
Mm-hmm.
Polaris is already the past, and Vega is the now and the future.
What does moving toward? Good. I'm sorry.
Mhm. So when what strengthens the effect, because remember the North Star, the pole star, is the star where your crown aligns to on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's consciousness is aligned to the North Star, even the animals, the birds, the fish, the dolphins, this is everybody's central GPS system here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They used that star to determine where they were going. The pyramids are aligned to the North Stars and to show the progression of going through the North Star, going from age to age.
Right.
The Mayans went from age to age based off of these stars. So this star is like super important.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's ironic. We talk about astrology, we talk about all of these different things, but we don't talk about the most basic thing, and that's our pole and
Mm-hmm.
what we're aligned to,
Mm-hmm.
right? We barely talk about that. So now, as soon as you open up to the consciousness of what is happening, then everything, all of the pieces of puzzle start to come together, things start to fit, things start to make sense, your senses get stronger, and now you become locked into the energy of what that entity, that heavenly body represents. And
Dope.
that's when you start embodying those qualities of that star, because that's what you're locked into.
What would you say Vega represents? What kind of energy uh will hit the planet from us moving toward that?
Vega is a lighter energy. You know what I mean? It's the interesting thing is the transition moving to Vega is much more violent leaving Polaris.
Mm.
Because going into Polaris, I think the transition was something for Earth was something like 31 degrees or something like that. But going
Yeah.
into Vega is something like 50 something degrees, right?
Right.
So it would be considered a real violent, like even the scientists look at it and said, well, if that was the case, this transition would be so physically violent that no one would survive. right?
Mm-hmm.
But because Lyra is such a gentle kind of light compared to all of the other places, it's a gentle transition. It's a very slow transition into that type of consciousness and that into that type of way. So it's not as devastating as the scientists want to make it seem. You know what I mean? So when they're talking about pole shift, they said, well, could not be a pole shift. It would be so destructive. It'd be this, it'd be that, right? They're not taking into consideration the nature of the shifts that we're making and what we're moving towards and the energy that it projects onto us. So Lyra is a feminine system. It's a feminine constellation, right? It's often associated with the mothers. It's often associated. Matter of fact, you either see these big symbols when you're looking at Lyra. You're looking at the tortoise, or you're looking at the vulture, and both of those are great mother symbols. You know what I mean? So it's not like moving into Draco and moving into those where it's the dragon, literally. So during that time, that was the dragon age. It was draconian, right? And then Polaris, you know, and now into a lighter energy, a higher energy that's considered to be kind of like almost high tech, you know. So we're moving into high tech age. We're moving into AI. We're moving into all of these different things that are very vegan. You know what I mean? We even were using the term, everybody got into being vegan,
Vegan, yeah. Wow.
right?
Wow, interesting.
So you have to look at these words and where they all come from and note that these are all subtle signs of something that's manifesting on a greater level, on a greater scale. And yes, it is connected. So when you call yourself vegan, yeah, you're calling yourself vegan, you
Right.
know, or you're calling yourself, you know what I mean? So all of this stuff, you know, you like to go to Las Vegas,
Right.
you
Right. Right.
know, run away. All
Mm,
of these different things have connections.
mm,
Lyra is associated with an instrument, a harmonic instrument,
mm,
right? So you're talking about a constellation that deals with a lot of harmony in music, in tones, in frequencies, and stuff like that. So you have to investigate what the words, where the etymologies came from, what they're associated with, because it gives you the connection to the energy of what we're talking about. So then that energy doesn't seem so foreign anymore. So not you. You know what I mean? There are different types of entities that claim to be from Lyra. But one of the Lyra is almost considered to be, on some terms, is very technical, like Aquarius, but then on other terms, it's very Leo. It could be a little bit arrogant. You know what I mean? So you got people that say that they're star seeds from Lyra, like I'm special. See me, you know what I mean? I'm beautiful. I'm from Lyra.
mm.
So, or I'm from Vega, you know, and those are all ego kind of manifestations.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
So all of these things, you look at the bigger picture and then you start to put together the dots of what energy is present, what's going on, what can you do with it, you know, how it's manifesting in your life, etc. Now on the shift side, on the pole shift side, because yes, this pole is moving, this does control your mentality, your mental frequency, you know, your mental health. You know what I mean? All of this stuff is being connected to this pole shift. So you have people who are losing it mentally right now, right? And how do you avoid losing it mentally? Because what you're losing is your sense of direction, your sense of, you know, your sense of what do you call it? Not balance. Yeah, your sense of balance, your sense of your grounding. You're losing that. because that's being stripped away from you, because now it's time to attach to another consciousness. It's time for you to attach to another consciousness. I think, did we lose you,
No, I'm here.
Rich?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Because I know, I'm like, I don't see you anymore.
No.
So it's time to connect. It's time to, when you're losing it, you can consciously connect and ground yourself again to a new consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Somebody in the chat had asked something that I had a question written down. Where is it at? Yeah. So I was curious about this too. How this
It's
pole
not,
shift.
it's not how the pole shift affects the zodiac, it's how the zodiac affects you. So these are all external things that are affecting you. You understand? So the
Mm-hmm.
zodiac is still the zodiac, because what we're talking about in pole shift is we're talking about a slight change and wobble of degree. You know what I mean? So it's like moving your head. That's what we're talking about in a pole shift, changing your direction. Your head may have been leaning more to this side, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's moving and it's leaning more to this side. That's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is moving in the zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
Your head is moving, your perception is moving. So that's how it's in. So the zodiac is still there, and you can use the zodiac to, you know, still kind of determine what your experience is going to be. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? How you're experiencing it. Because right now, look at all of this. We have Pluto just moving into Aquarius, right? So
Right.
now we're becoming more hyper aware. You're
Okay.
becoming more hyper aware of what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening, because that's what Aquarius is awareness, right? You're higher, your awareness, you're becoming aware. So now with Pluto, you're becoming extremely aware. You're becoming aware of the things that were subtle before. These things were so subtle you didn't even know it was there. Now you're becoming aware of the
Mm-hmm.
things that are very subtle.
Yeah, very interesting. You made a connection between Vega and vegans. I know you do the cardology on celebrities. Um, if there's a connection, what's the connection between Drake and Draco's? Drake being one of
Oh
the
yeah,
biggest rappers.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So what does that mean? Him being the biggest rapper, and if we're leaving Draco, does that mean he's gonna
No, we're
fall or
actually, no, we're leaving Polaris. We've long left
no?
Draco.
Okay,
But
okay.
the point of the matter is, as a being, you could still tune in. Anything you tune into, you know what I mean? You're going to literally tune into.
Right,
This is how you lock. This is how we talk about things like possession and stuff like that. Possession is only tuning into something that
right.
is subtle, that is whatever, and allowing it to be present, allowing it to come to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you start talking about Draco, then yes, you're gonna tune into Draco. You're gonna tune into Draconis. You're gonna tune into the dragon. You're gonna tune into all of that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? But they often tell you you have to be careful though, because if that's not where the global tune is, you're kind of on your own. You know what I mean? So you may be more susceptible to getting stuck somewhere you don't want to get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah.
that's like imagine stepping out. You know, you got people who are very adventurous. I'm gonna step outside of the circle and I'm gonna go tune into this force out here. I'll see y'all later.
Mm,
But that person could go out there and not return,
mhm, mhm, mhm,
whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, or whatever.
mhm,
You know, so you really want to be careful with, what you're dealing with. I was talking with a priest today, and he was telling me about this particular being, this particular entity that some of the kings like to used to tune into. Like they would align with this deity. This deity would would offer them protection, and
mhm.
and she would protect them, right? But she had a taste for blood,
Wow.
and if they didn't bring her blood, she
Mhm.
was going to eat them.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So they got locked in a contract that they really didn't want to be in, because they didn't really want to be bringing blood, have to be bringing blood to this entity. You know what I mean? So that's why you have to be careful. But they're going to cut these energies that you lock into, is always going to lock into those areas that you're weakest at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some of them are going to take advantage. And if you don't have your family, your community, or anything, and you just decide to venture out into this area, then you're on your own.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be real careful with that. You in terms of, I love asking different people questions because you get a different response, and like I said, I know you get a lot of channeled information. In terms of we talked about Atlantis briefly earlier. In terms of you hear a lot about Mars. In terms of Mars, was Mars the old Earth? Can you tell me, was that where we used to reside at? Then some shit, war went on there, and we had to come to this planet? Because I hear different things from different peoples. What can you tell me about that?
What you want to do is you can rely on some of the things you can do when you're trying to determine the planets and stuff like that, is you really can rely on the mythological stories. You know what I mean? So you have planets that were twins. You have twin planets. You have, you know what I mean? You even have some planets that were triplets. You have some planets that were born from Ceres, Ceres, like they literally broke off from Ceres and became planets, you know? So the truth of the matter is we travel through all of these different planets. Like we're there. Like these planets are us. They make us up. They're our makeup, right? And what we found here is the perfect unification of all those energies, like the perfect place where all of those energies can be.
Oh,
They're all there on Earth, right? This is the perfect place where all of these energies can meld and coexist.
Interesting.
So our story is always about coexisting. That's why even America, it's about coexisting. In other countries, it's about coexisting. Our story in humanity is about coexisting, right? So we found a place that we could come to and we could coexist.
Wow, that's
because if you look at it, people talk as much as they want to talk about humans, but we ain't blow to a planet up yet. You know what I mean? Not completely. So on some level, we're able to coexist here. And other planets, you can't coexist. Mars is the energy of Mars. Mars is not about coexisting. It's about conquering. You know what I mean? It's about war. It's about this is mine. All of these planets, they have their own different energy. So this is like a war post here. We're posting up because this is where we're strategizing, where we're being strategic, where we're doing this, we're doing that. Earth is our garden. This is where we get to live.
Right. So the person asked earlier about the pole shifts affecting the zodiacs, and you talked about our awareness in terms of giving birth. They say the birth rate is on the decline. I don't know how true or not that is. The children that coming into this realm, reincarnating into this realm, how does that affect the souls coming back into this realm?
I think that because we're moving to ultimately a higher golden age, there's what I've experienced is that spirits want to come back here now. This is a good time.
It's a good time.
Believe it or not. Right. So this is a good time. That's what I've experienced. That's what I experience when I communicate. I communicate with babies, with, you know what I'm saying, with children. I communicate with kids. I have an 8 of spades in Pluto, an ace of hearts sitting right next to it. So when I'm out and I'm around babies, they talk to me. They talk to me with their eyes. They talk to me, just psychic communication straight.
That's fine. Yeah.
And they want to be here. They're happy to be here. They're a little anxious, it's a little scary, but they know they can see the bigger picture. They can still see the bigger picture. They can still see that we're moving towards the golden age and moving away from the harder, tougher times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they really want to be here.
How long do you think a soul, like say a soul made a transition tomorrow? Is the time period it takes to incarnate back into this realm, is that faster now because of what's going on? Like,
Yes.
okay, all right,
Yeah,
like
it
like
is. I truly believe that the wave of people that exited this last exit, these are people that are coming right back,
who? What do you
right?
mean? What exit? The people like
This
get
last exit during the pandemic,
in
during,
2020,
yeah, during the
and they coming
pandemic,
back now already? You think?
even the last, yeah, even
Shit.
the last, but you got to look at it. Pluto has been in Capricorn.
Right,
Capricorn is ruled by Saturn,
right.
right? So this is literally a karmic time. This is a time when karma is shifting,
Yeah.
right? That's what you're saying, because this is the sign that's associated with karma and the Lord of karma and time. So something big is happening. So you have kids that are born Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorn typically represents the elderly, old souls. So you have children that have old souls from this period. So you
Right,
say
right.
they're talking about all the babies that are born trying to walk, talking now, doing all of this other stuff. Like they're rushing to get out of the baby phase because they just were adults.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they're rushing, they're running right out of the baby phase straight into trying to get into childhood, trying to get older so that they can do their thing.
Right, right, right.
They're like literally rushing. I know all of the parents out there, you've seen these babies. They call them pandemic babies, right? So you've seen these babies and you're seeing how these babies are rushing to get out of baby stages.
You are so right. My son tells me all the time. He was born right before the pandemic in 2018. He says all the time, "I'm tired of being a kid. I can't wait to be an adult." I'm like, "Yo, there's no need to rush this thing. When you get an adult, you're gonna regret it." I'm telling him like, "Though, enjoy being a kid," and he keeps saying it. He was like, "I want to be an adult." I'm like, "Wow, this is like the dude swear he a boss." I mean, so I mean, hey, the dude is grown. So I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Very
so these are incarnated. There are a lot of suffering souls that had done a lot to their bodies. You know what I mean? So like from the Pluto and Virgo generation, particularly, a lot of drugs, a lot of a lot of things that they did to their bodies. You know what I mean? That they didn't feel that their bodies could make it. We're
Mm,
about to come to a time where everything is going to be curable. Like a lot of diseases, a lot of conditions are going to disappear, right? Life is going to be extended.
I was about to
People
ask that.
know this. Yes, life is going to be extended. People are going to live longer. There's going to be come to a time to you make the decision if you want to leave here or not.
Mm,
When you want to leave here, just like on the double. So you had people that didn't feel like they could make it that far with the bodies and the suffering they had. Think
mm,
about certain celebrities. Think about like Prince. Like everybody loved Prince, but Prince was taking painkillers because his body was in so much pain. You know
mm,
what I mean? From dancing and doing this and traveling and performing and having to give all of his physical energy to people on a regular basis,
mhm.
right? It's people like that. They're like, you know what? I want a do over. There's not enough plastic surgery in the world to take away all of this pain.
Wow. Yeah, I would think the spirit realm, I guess just a person analyzing it logically and maybe not, and thinking from an ego perspective, you might think there's a waiting line because you think about Earth and you think about there's a waiting line for everything. So you may think, okay, if you leave this realm, there's a line, you got to get back in line, nigga. And there's a million people ahead of you. So, but you're like, nah, ain't no line. These people they could just come right back. That's very interesting.
Somebody said they didn't hear of Prince taking pain pills. They said he was on pain medication,
Yeah,
constantly.
right. I heard that. Yeah. Was it the
Set his hip
oxycontin?
for
Was it
his hip. Yeah, for his hip, all of those different things, the splits, the this, the that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
anybody a dancer around here, you would know that. Yeah, if you doing all of that, your body is going to hurt.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, let me. I seen somebody else. I know you deal with the finances a lot. Somebody want to know, will finances shift as well?
Finances are shifting. And the United States has an Ace of Diamonds transformation. So new money is coming in. It's coming in this year. I was telling somebody though, what you fail to understand is with new money comes war.
Yeah.
New money brings in a lot of death. It just doesn't, new money doesn't just erupt and everybody is like, hey, how you doing? No, that's an energy. So new money is painful. New money is death. You are getting rid of, when new money comes in, it's eliminating old money. And there are people who are holding on to dear life to their old money. So that is war. It's warfare. So what we're getting ready to walk into is different wars on all different levels. And one of them is the financial war.
You said something interesting on your Instagram, Aquarius. You said, karma is really about time. That's why it's associated with Saturn. Do you know the North and South poles are points on Earth where time does not exist? It controls all time on Earth. I've been saying we are in the midst of karmic change, which is a shift in polarities. You're saying the North and South poles are points on Earth where time doesn't exist. I have to ask you, could you elaborate on that? And I know we always say time is going by fast, but I mean, Aquarius in 2024, this shit is moving. So,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, the time zones and when you go up to the North Pole, that's the point where that's it. That's where it ends. That's why so many people wanted to do the North Pole excursion and get up to the North Pole or go to the South Pole and to get out of and get the experience, the feeling of not being locked in karma, locked in the wheel, locked in the cycle. They wanted to experience that while still being alive. There are people who take that excursion up to those poles, like that's poles, and that is the reason why they want to do that.
Would you ever do that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I do it in my VR headset though. I did in my meta. I've done the Himalayan mountains. I felt like I was in them Himalayas. Absolutely. It was exciting enough for me. So I'll go virtually, but no, I don't really think you have people like that. Like, it's so interesting that we're talking about that because recently they found an airplane that they think belongs to Amelia Earhart, and she was trying to fly around the world. You know what I mean? So they just recently found an airplane. Just recently, a sonar picked up an airplane that they think is her airplane.
Wow.
So all of these things come up. Like, these are all signs. Like, these is things that are drawing your attention to karma, to time, to transiting. And look, with all of the issues we're having with airplanes, all of the issues that we're having with flying, everything that has to tune into the magnetic north and south is going haywire right now.
Somebody want to know, what should we focus on right now, Aquarius?
That's a good sentence you made. Focus on. Because what you focus on is what you're going to build. That's going to be your belief system, right? But the beautiful thing is, moving out of these centers of control, you have the power now to determine what you want to focus on. What belief system do you want to build, right? Like, that's this whole vegan Lyran culture really is not the type of culture like the draconian culture, which is you got to do what we say. Like we got to all hive in together and do what they say. No, you get to build your concentric worlds, like your little worlds around yourself. Like you get to become a full-blown star now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you get to become your own star. That's why we have celebrities. I keep telling y'all this over and over again. Y'all don't understand why is there a need for celebrities? Because what a celebrity is a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're a star and they live in their own worlds.
Mm.
And because they live in it, you ever dealt with a celebrity? You could tell a celebrity about some great idea you got, they're not even listening, because if it's not their idea and in their world, they don't even care. Because they're a star and they live in their own world. They have become a star. So we now have the opportunities to become stars in our own world, to become little suns. We have that opportunity now. And what does that mean? It's like, can suns live together? Don't they live together in the same galaxy? Aren't there galaxies out there that are full of stars and full of suns, and they're all there and they're chilling and they're not having no problem? So that is the proof that everybody can be a star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's some real good advice, and real good game you just said right there about them living in their own world. I think that's important, and I notice in my life when I've been the most successful is when I live in my own world, and when I tend to leave my world and get engulfed in other people's world, that's when my energy starts to lower and things don't go as great as I want them to go. So I'm glad that you just reminded me of that right there. That's a real good message for all of us, Aquarius. I appreciate that. Let's we've been getting some good questions from the people in the chat. We all been vibing tonight. We got about 2,000 people in here. Oh, before I get to the next question, Aquarius, you got this new platform. You always got something going on with technology. You be doing your thing. What's going on now, Aquarius? What's going on now?
Well, I tend to do things a little quicker than people are ready for. So back in 2004, I built a social network called New World Order, the same year that Facebook launched.
Wow.
And it was going for a couple of years. We built up our membership to about 50,000 to 75,000 members. And when I broke up with my co-founder, who was my mate at the time, I shut it down. So that was about maybe 3 or 4 years into it. And a friend of mine recently, back in like 2017, said to me, what would have happened if you never closed down New World Order?
Yeah.
Because you started the same time Facebook did.
Wow.
So I was like, I didn't think about it like that. And motivated me to relaunch New World Order. So back during the pandemic, I launched a social media platform called New and You. And I was kind of footing the bill for a long time myself when I did New. So I shut that down too. But it was recently when I began working on a platform called Sovereign ID, which is basically going to operate on our blockchain, which is going to allow people to establish their digital identities and own their digital property in their digital space, because that's where everything is going. And the whole idea is that you're going to have to get with one platform or the next. And why do you think you're going to have to get with it? Because of AI. Because of AI and because of the hijacking of identities and literally taking away who you are, you're going to have the tools to declare who you are. So that's what we're building on WAPcoin now on our chain. And that's the tools for you to be able to declare your identity and declare ownership of yourself as a sovereign being in the universe. So I launched a social network to begin to gather people there, and that's called sob.social. So Sob.social is eventually going to be linked to Sovereign ID, which you'll be able to use your identity over there as well. But right now it's open to everybody. And I want to give people a platform to be able to express themselves freely, as long as they're not infringing on others, not trolling others, and not harassing or being negative to others. So it's sob.social. So hopefully a lot of people were complaining about Instagram. They're complaining about what they can't talk about, or there's places that you just now can't talk about certain things anymore, and you're really not going to know what's going on. So where are you going to go? So there's a need for more safe spaces for people still to be able to communicate amongst one another. So that's why I launched sob.social.
Excellent. What's your thoughts on Apple's new VR headset? I don't know if they're calling it
Apple Vision
spatial.
Pro.
Your Vision Pro. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think that's going to be as big as iPhone was when it first came out? Is that the new wave?
I think that Apple is born of an ace of diamonds. What's his name? And what they tend to do is it tends to open up the doors for things that people are resistant to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So VR has already been around. Meta's doing a great job with it. The Meta headset, I love it, but people are resistant to it. So what Apple is going to do is to obviously bring it more mainstream and have more people getting involved in the immersive world. Because I'm telling you, there's some things coming down the pipeline that you are not going to be able to walk out in them streets. And the only thing you're going to have is a headset for a little bit.
Have you tried it yet? I'm just curious to know.
I haven't tried it. I use at first I was a little excited about it, but the Meta Quest 3 is pretty dope.
Right.
So it's so dope that I didn't feel like I needed to drop $3,500 for another headset that doesn't have as much capabilities. Right. And as a developer, they don't really have as much capabilities yet as the Meta Quest 3.
Okay. Wow. Let me ask this question from Oracle Eyes wants to know, if you don't go towards the light, can you not skip the wheel of reincarnation? Heard if you go in opposite direction, you'll finally go home, i.e. Andromeda, Pleiades, Sirius, etc.
Where you go is dependent upon the weight of how you judge yourself. So it has nothing to do with you just making a conscious choice to go this way or that way. You are going to evaluate your own self. And if you are holding on to, if you have judged yourself a particular way, then you're going to go a particular way. That judgment is going to fall on you. So if you want to have more power over where you go, then you have to work on building a stronger belief system while you're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
A rock solid belief system.
Right. This is an interesting question, Aquarius. Brother wants to know, should males be scared to deal with a woman who channel as Aquarius do? You got them scared.
Yes. That's what they say.
You got them scared. They like, hell no. She gonna catch
you sound like my other friend. He's another cardologer. He's a 4 diamonds. He said the same thing. He was like, girl, you scare anybody. You know the front, the back, the up, the down, the in, the out. So yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, honestly, they would be afraid. But so that's why I wind up with the men that I do, the ones that are usually very hard, that have super thick skin, very Scorpio moons. Yeah. Scorpio moon men are gonna love me because they love shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on what you said earlier, this individual wants to know, how do we keep order with everyone living in their own world?
about it like this. Have you ever wondered how so many people can drive a car on a highway and not hit each other? Like all the time? Like literally you're doing 60, somebody else is doing 70, and it's like 100 cars within a little radius, and y'all are not constantly hitting each other. Nobody's ever wondered about that?
I did. That is a very good point you bring up. I definitely have. Would love to hear you elaborate on it.
I mean, it's just like being in a daycare and having 100 kids running around. They hitting each other, they bopping each other. If you don't do something, they fighting. All of that stuff. Is not a lot of coherence there. But for some strange reason, there's coherence out there on them highways and them cars. We're driving around in a psychic bubble and not even realizing it.
Whoo! You said a psychic bubble.
Right.
I like how you said that.
That's the only explanation for it, because it makes no sense other than there is some layer of psychic protection that we are not even conscious of.
Damn. Oh, she tapped in tonight, y'all. There's a layer of psychic protection that we're not even aware of, you said.
Right.
Yeah, oh, man. I definitely thought that before. That is very interesting you brought that up. Wow.
I mean, there's only like a few accidents here or there. As I said, it should be a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. With all the people on the road. Yeah.
All the people on the road, some people on the phone, some people arguing, some people talking, but yet we ain't bumping into each other like bumper cars.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get to these questions, man. I like these questions tonight. We vibing out. Well, I got a super chat. Shout out to Hereby Tiger. Shout out to you, sis. She wants to know, how is the process going to go as far as white supremacy being abolished? How will Black people be able to step up into our rightful place with white men acting like a damn fool and not wanting to sit down?
Pole shift. The pole shift is not just about the physical poles. It is about anything that has polarized, making a flip. So what you're seeing as far as white supremacy is you're seeing people who have realized that they're flipping. Their power is flipping. Everything that they have established is changing, is flipping. So they're flipping out. They're literally going crazy. Like, you don't think they're going crazy? Did you hear about the fight between Mitch McConnell and the Republicans behind closed doors the other day?
Yo.
They're bugging. This is not typical white man behavior.
Damn.
Not old white man behavior. It's just not. They're losing it. Like the older patriarchal blah blah blah, like they're making bad decisions left and right. They got bad candidates. Their candidates are crazy. All of them. Like they're bugging out. They don't even need us to get rid of white supremacy. What we need not do is copy it.
Shit. Deep. You just said that. You can say that what we need to do is not copy it.
Exactly. Because we have people amongst us that are looking at that like that's the way to go when it's on the way out.
Yeah.
So you're going to jump right into the pit with that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, let's keep this thing going. I got about 10 more minutes, y'all. Let's get some more questions on here, man. What's up? There's supposed to be 3 days of darkness. I've heard about that. Is that true? This is my brother Tone. Shout out to Tone, real good brother family. West Indian brother used to always chill with me in Brooklyn when I was out there in Brooklyn. Shout out to my brother Tone. He been a good brother, been helping me out for years. But go ahead, Aquarius.
I didn't hear about that, but I'll tell you this. homing in on that is probably a lot better than homing in on what's really going to come down on the pipeline. That's lightweight. There are some heavy things coming down the pipeline our way. But does that mean it's the end? No. Does that mean that we can't still achieve our goals? No. Because the way that we were built, we are built to endure. That makes us better. All of those obstacles, all of those things that we have to face turns us into giants.
Are you fear-mongering, Aquarius? What if somebody asks you that? Are you fear-mongering?
Well, that's why I don't talk about it that much unless somebody asks me. I'm a projector. You know what I mean? In human design, I don't tell you no bad news unless you ask me. It's not about what I'm going to tell you. It's about the questions you're going to ask me. Because if you ask me, I'm going to have to tell you.
Yeah, indeed. Let's get to this next super chat. Shout out to Ada, the super chat. Appreciate it. She wants to know, starting from today, how do we build a strong belief system to guide us through these times?
That is why I give you cardology. Cardology is a belief system, right? It is a belief system. It is a belief that if you play a game, you can win. So if you're playing a game of chess, you play to win, don't you? Play a game of cards, you play to win. So you need to have a game. You need to become a gamer in these times.
Right.
You need to have a game. You have a game, you play that game, you're going to play to win. And that is how you're going to get through everything that's going on in the world. Because you don't play a game to lose. And guess what? Even when you get knocked down in a game, you still come back.
Yeah.
So that's what cardology is. Like, cardology is playing the game. It's like, I consciously choose to play the game. These are the players. These are the powers. These are the superpowers of these players. These are the superpowers of these players. And I'm going to learn how to tap into all of these superpowers. I'm going to learn how to play every card in the deck. Someone says, see me Saturday. I guess they're coming to the Conscious Life Expo.
What's going on with that? What's going on?
I am going to be speaking on an AI panel at the Conscious Life Expo. And I'm also going to be hosting a workshop called the Karmic, what is it? I forget, something with Karma something, but I'm hosting a workshop at the Conscious Life Expo as well. So that's probably what some people said. They're coming to see me in LA this weekend.
Excellent. Let's see what y'all talking
about. I'm guessing finally a whole bunch of our folks gonna show up, because I don't know. It don't seem like it be too many of our folks there.
Nah,
I guess I'm about to bring the fam up in the house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you done got the people hyped. They like, what's coming down the pipeline so we can prepare. They're like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's what I'm here for.
What's going on? What? Give us a
age. I think I touched on it a little bit. We're going on the age 23 spread. The next United States birthday, which is almost the equivalent of the 12th house of the zodiac. So it's bad. It's bad, but it's good.
Yeah.
Because it's going to force some people to do what they need to do to get the healing that they need to get, and to be the gods that they can be. I'll tell you this. My son is 23 right now, and he's on that spread. And I didn't know the whole time. I've forgotten. I got 8 kids. I forgot my son was 23. And he, suffers from Crohn's disease, right? And he had been battling with that. But recently, he's changed his whole diet. Like I've never seen before. Like, he's taking care of himself.
Excellent.
all of that. And so I see the doctor arise because he's a four of diamonds. They have a king of spades and Saturn and Pluto.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they'll have a doctor in
Mhm.
them. So I'm seeing him give birth to the doctor now.
Oh,
So
excellent.
so after all of that suffering, he's coming out, you know. So
Mhm.
that's what I see with 23. 23 might be this spread is going to be bad, but you're going to see a lot of brothers gain their spiritual accolades coming out of this year.
Ooh, ooh.
And I specifically say brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're going to see a lot of that.
Mm. Let's get to I think we're gonna do two more questions before we get out of here. I'm having a good time tonight, y'all. Uh oh yeah. Let's see. Somebody wants to know, will cartography help us navigate through what's coming down the pipeline?
Well, Astro, a lot of people I see use it to see where they think they should be.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's time to tune into this to
Your
lead you
heart?
to where you should be. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because just because this line is your Saturn line doesn't mean that ain't where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People, demonize certain planets. It's like, I'm gonna go move where my Venus is, or I'm gonna go move where my Jupiter is, or I'm gonna move where no. I want to move where I'm going to be the best that I can possibly be. What is going to crystallize those superpowers in me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're not a real heavy Venus person, So some people like, you want to move to your Venus. You could have a lot of Venus, but still not thrive the best in Venus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other factors there. So people use that. You know what I would use astrocartography for?
What?
Where I'd start a business.
Oh
And
yeah?
I don't even have to live there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
might register my business there
Mm-hmm.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I might use astrocartography.
Mm. Yeah, very, very interesting. Let's get to another question. Um, let's see. I'm trying to. All right, somebody wants to know, how do you distinguish between a channel and random noise thoughts in your head, Aquarius?
A channel is always going to be substantiated with things that are going on in your environment. You're going to constantly get confirmations of your channel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be substantiated.
Give me an
It's
example.
not, meaning that it's not, and there's not too much things that's random stuff anyway. You know what I mean? But channels are more like water. I guess that's why they call it channel. You know what I mean? So like it just seems to flow through you, like you're doing
Yeah,
freestyle hip hop.
yeah.
That's a channel.
Ooh, great,
You
great
know what I
example.
mean?
Great example.
So when you're doing freestyle and you're doing hip hop, that's a channel. That's channel. It's just like flowing, you know? And that's how channeling is going to be for you. Whether it's channeling information to share, it's just going to flow. It's just going to feel like a flow. And it's a channel. So it's not just staying in your head, it's coming out your mouth. It got a place to go. It's leaving your body. So it's going to leave your body. It's going to come out your mouth. It's going to go on paper. You're going to write it down. You're going to record something. It's just not going to stay in your head.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, no, definitely. I think that yeah, channeling. I always get a certain a slight different feeling when it's a channel versus just I mean they're all channels, but we're talking about beneficial channels. I always get I'm able to distinguish the feeling that I get. And I guess that's why we got to study our subtle energy body. But you know what it makes me think about, Aquarius? So let me know what you think about this. If us, like, let's say our taste buds, and when we're eating certain food, like learning to distinguish between sweet, savory, sour, all of these different tastes and flavors that the food provide. We have emotional tastes and flavors that our emotions provide. And I think that us, having a diverse palette will help us tap into our diverse emotional palette as well. What's your thoughts on that, Aquarius?
Well, when it comes to like our senses and stuff like that, this is something that a priest, 5,000-year-old priest told me once
Mm-hmm.
upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was taken to a temple one time and I had one question. And my
Mm-hmm.
question was, what was the secret to wealth? So that's why I asked about money,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they told me that the secret to wealth is to keep all of your senses in equilibrium, meaning that you don't want to just devote your all of your energy to your sense of taste. You also want to devote your energy to your touch, your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that if you're tasting good food, you should be feeling good cloths on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
You should have silks and satins and cashmeres and all
and
of those things
and
so
feel
that you can, yes, so that you can feel those
yeah,
sensations. And then
yeah.
you should be stimulating your sight with colors,
And so yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so that you should have colors and things like that around. So you want to do what you can to bring all of those senses into an equilibrium and not just one sense that you're putting all of your attention to.
This is excellent. This is excellent. We're coming up with, we're breaking this down on the spot. We got the taste, different, our taste palette. You talked about the fabric. You
The
talked about
smell,
the
the
colors.
smell, so like the smells of different flowers,
Right.
which we use and we put in
That would
perfume.
be excellent. Yeah, that
Yeah.
wow.
Then the colors that you're seeing in your eyes, you want to give attention to all your senses.
This game, y'all. I hope y'all. I don't even know if you realize how much game this is, Aquarius. This game, this right here, this part right here, this game, this some serious spiritual game, y'all. If y'all really want to tap in and tap into these powers that we got, this some game. What she just said about flowers. And how many niggas, in pardon my language, know the distinct smell between certain flowers? I don't. But because of what you said, and we're taught that as men, that's foolishness. Why would I smell different roses and shit? But like that's some spiritual game right there. So
Because
you,
they tell you, even in the thing, they say, stop and smell the roses, stop and
yeah,
smell the flowers.
yeah,
That's some higher level stuff.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? So yes, absolutely. Flowers program your emotions too.
mm,
They're
mm,
like they have the capability of programming your emotions. That's why a lot of my clients come to me. I tell them to use different flower essences, like box flower essences,
mm.
which ladies, you should be using that on your dudes. Um, Flower essences. Yes, absolutely. Spray a little, come a lot with a little bottle of flower essences, spray it on them.
Indeed. Oh man, what a show! What a show! Let's do one more question because this is good. This is good. Give me a good one to end this, y'all. We just gave y'all some serious spiritual game. Y'all better tap into the smell, the taste, the touch, all of that, the sight with the colors. Let's tap into this. Let's really do this, y'all. It's really. I need to give y'all a spiritual homework assignment again tonight, like I did the other night. When Aquarius answered this last question, I might think of one. If something naturally come to me, like we just talked about a channel, if a channel comes through to me, I'll do it, but I'm not going to force it. But let's get this. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the perfect person to ask this because you deal with technology. The cyber attacks. How big is that going to be? They want to know what's going on with that.
We've
Moving.
been in cyber attacks for decades now.
Yeah.
Like literally bad. That every one of our elections were influenced by cyber attacks. So we had the worst cyber attacks were pre, the election that brought in Trump, because he's an ace of spades too, which is the card of cyber attacks. There's
Right.
certain things that come along with every president, right? So when you have the three of diamonds, like for instance, it is a possibility, you know, he could have won if there was another person in existence. I'm not going to say her name because she's also an ace of spades.
Mm.
But that ace of spades brings lots and lots of cyber attacks, which is why the Russians were like, hey, we're going to go ahead and make sure we attack everything that you need attack, Mr. Trump.
Mhm.
And they have been doing warfare like crazy.
Mhm.
So ransomware, government ransomware. Remember when Atlanta, the city of Atlanta,
Yeah.
the whole entire government fell victim to ransomware.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So this is the easiest way for them to attack us. Very easy. That's just super easy. They can
Mhm.
do that. They're even attacking Black people,
Mhm.
with fake news, fake this, fake trolls, fake accounts. They've been after us because we're the voices. We are the influencers. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So you get to us, what are we gonna do? We gonna share what agenda they want us to put out.
Oh yeah.
We're
Oh yeah.
gonna just share it on our pages. I'm very selective, and I told y'all, stop sharing
You
shit.
said that. You said that.
Stop sharing it. I don't care how good it looks, whose side you think you're on, all of that. Stop sharing. If you're going to share something, try to make 90% of your material your own channel, your own information. Believe in yourself. Believe in your ability to channel and bring information out. Share something new, share a word. That's why I love when people get up and they just speak. They just do a live and just talk because you have no choice but to channel. When you
Mhm.
just get up there and you do a raw live, you don't woke up first thing in the morning, Spirit's going to use you like you have no choice but to channel new information that nobody else has heard,
Mhm.
right? But when you don't do those things and you're just sharing this stuff that they're putting out there, then that is what they want. That is what they want you to do. They
Mhm.
want you to share their agendas and their stuff. They want you to do that. It's mindless because if you don't even have a solution for what you're sharing, why the hell are you sharing it?
Mhm.
If what you're sharing is a problem and you don't have the solution, why are you sharing it?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Literally.
Excellent. Excellent. We about to wrap this thing up. I want to thank everybody. Shout out to Shanta J for the super chat. Shanta J, I definitely appreciate your
I just
contribution.
came back from Mexico. Somebody was talking
Oh,
about Mexico.
dope,
I
dope,
just
dope.
came back from Chichen Itza.
Oh yeah. I never been there. I hear so many good things about Mexico. Never,
Oh my God.
it's
Gotta
nice, huh?
go. I think that opened me up to a whole new other levels of channels when I left there. So yeah, it's dope.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I think Blue Pill was just out there too in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
out there.
Swim
Ah,
in the sea. Okay, yeah, just they got it. I'm sorry. I think it's a distraction when you see the ones that they're homing in on crossing the border
yeah.
because they don't want you to cross the border and go and see the
No
real
shit.
stuff.
Wow, wow. Dope. Leave your
Not them. Our folks,
yeah,
our
I
government
thought, yeah,
don't
yeah.
want you to cross the border and go see the real stuff.
Wow, wow. Leave your contact info, Aquarius, for the people.
Somebody said, "Well, I'm married." That's so
Huh?
funny. That's
Will
so
you marry
cute.
me? I'm a
Oh
Virgo.
my god! And he would be a Virgo ruling my house of relationships too. Like he was
Chris-
like, "I know the astrology."
Christopher is shooting his shot. Yeah. Go ahead,
And
Christopher.
it's so funny because I'm dating somebody born in '83. What's up with
Uh,
'83?
83
What's
coming
up
through
with
strong.
y'all?
Coming through strong. Christopher, shout out
Yeah.
to you, brother. Shooting
What's
your shot.
up?
You like, man, that's what we got to that's what it's got to be, brothers. You know what I mean? Don't be scared. Closed mouths don't get fed. All
I'm
right.
telling you, I love brothers. Everybody call me a feminist. Like I love black men. Like I don't know what y'all talking about. I this ridiculous. I'll be trying to get y'all with the sisters. Y'all, I'm telling you, you got to do these ladies better because there's some good women out there. There really is. I don't care
Indeed.
what y'all say.
Indeed. Indeed. Leave your contact info, Aquarius, so they can get in touch with you. You got so much going on. You got so much going on.
Oh, my contact.
Yeah. What you thinking about, Christopher? You thinking about Christopher?
No, I'm thinking about Mexico. Oh Lord, no, they give me a joke. I was thinking about Mexico. Aquarius Maximus. It didn't post when I tried to put up there, but you can visit me at aquariusmaximus.com. You can check out Guap Coin. Get down. There's some big movements going on with Guap Coin, and I know I don't get a chance to talk about it enough up here, but you need to hit me up about Guap Coin, seriously. Right. So, you know, you hear everything else that I'm saying, understand that I have created a whole financial platform out here in these streets. So you really need to get serious about that, because that gives us an opportunity to be able to jump the ship and transact with one another like we can do. We always talking about buying Black or supporting businesses in our community. We now have the tools to be able to do it. So, you know, see me on that side as well.
Indeed, man. What a fun. It's dope, y'all, when you could have fun and learn simultaneously. Yeah. So I want to thank you to everybody in the chat. We still got about 2,000 people in the chat. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Come back tomorrow, y'all. I'm going to have Sister Myra on tomorrow at 9 p.m. So come through tomorrow for Sister Myra. Aquarius, thank you once again. And I'll talk to you later in the month about the ad. If you want to, because I said I'm going to start it back up in March. So I'll let you know about that. But thanks for coming on once again. Always a pleasure having you on here. All right. All right, peace. All right. All right, family. We getting out of here. See y'all tomorrow with Sister Myra. All right. Peace.